Then what else? See, I'll just tell you like this. You have a data, that's your organization's data. How about somebody gets the access to that and able to do whatever he can? Will that be safe? We always think about safety of our data, and nobody should be able to access it, so that we can safeguard it and then function or work smoothly in order to complete a project or deliver our projects with higher security and all. So for that, we need to have a proper security, and not only a proper security, by any chance, okay, by any chance, if your data's security compromises with somebody, then the data is accessible by them. In that situation, okay, of course, the security parameters, whatever we check, will be very strong, and then a very rare and very sure nobody gets the access. But by any chance, because there are so many, well knowledge hackers are available in the society. So if they get to they get the access to this. In this situation, we have to be very careful. Even though the person gets the access to the data, we wanted them to not to understand what it is. Okay, so in order to do that, what we do is we encrypt the data. So what do you mean by encrypt? Encrypt is nothing but the moment you say encrypt, all of your data will be turned into another stuff, or it is just changed to some coding language wherein nobody understand what it is. Okay, so the data, the proper data which is human readable, will be turned into combination of letters, numbers, and all, and even symbols. So nobody understand what is that. There will not be any particular pattern for that. There will not be any particular language for that. So it's just randomly turn into a combination of letters, numbers, and characters especially, so that though your security gets compromised by somebody and then that somebody gets the access to your data, still he should not be able to understand what it is. That is the reason why, okay, we go encrypt data. Is my voice breaking, not clear to everybody? Yeah. What about now? Is it clear? Is my voice clear to everybody? Yeah. Not clear? I'm not sure why. From my end, everything is fine. My network is fine. So please check. Yes. If everybody has some issue that you are not able to hear me, then I'll just have to check. Guys, am I clear to you? Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear now.
Oh,
But before we got some disturbance.
okay, fine. So hope you understand. So what I'm talking about, encryption. Encryption is nothing but turning our data into some coding language as some a combination of some stuff where nobody understand what it is. So that is what we say encryption. And when you encrypt the data will be provided with certain keys. Those keys are needed to be maintained by you. Only with respect to that, even you will not be able to understand what the data is once it is encrypted. But you will have an option of decrypting it, encrypting and decrypting the data. So it is possible for you because you yourself have encrypted the data, so it's possible for you to decrypt whenever you wanted. But what you have to do in order to decrypt, you should have some special permissions, like the data when it is encrypted will be provided with certain keys, and those keys are to be provided back so that the data will be decrypted and then you can access the data comfortably. That's what. Now, there are few different types that we have in encryption that needs to be understood by us. Here it is just mentioned server-side encryption. This is one type of that. Apart from that, we have few more different types of encryption. That's nothing but there are four different type of you know uh, different methods of encryption in S3 especially. So the first one in that is in transit. The data encryption is done during the transition. Transition is nothing but what? While uploading the data into S3 bucket or while downloading back from that S3 bucket. So that is where we say in transition. While upload or downloading the data into S3 bucket, we encrypt. So that is what encryption during transit. So in transit, we encrypt. Or the other type is SSL or TLS. These are the two different type of certifications. With respect to that, we just encrypt the data over HTTPS, secure web browsing. So that is how the encryption is done. These are just simply to understand, but what really needed, what really important is the other two different type of encryptions. Those are at rest and server side. In that at rest we have server side, okay, then client side. Server side and client side, these are the two different things which we have to understand very clearly. So what do you mean by server side and what do you mean by client side? So don't say when I say client, don't think that it is the person who needs to get the project delivered. It's not that client. It is we people becomes the client in terms of this encryption. So server side is nothing but what? When the data is uploaded into S3 bucket, that is server side. After once you upload, you encrypt the data. And client side, you first encrypt the data and that encrypted one upload into the S3 bucket, isn't it? So those are the two different things which we have to understand: client side encryption and server side encryption. We have seen what's client side encryption. Client side encryption. The client side encryption means first you encrypt the data at your end, and that encrypted data should be uploaded into S3 bucket. Since you yourself encrypt, it's possible for you to decrypt whenever it is possible, whenever you want it. Okay, so that's client-side encryption. Now let's understand server-side encryption, what server-side encryption is and how secure it is in Amazon's S3. Always Amazon takes care about its customers in terms of their safety and their comfortability. So these are the two major things they work with on priority. So here they always are charged for the data or the space utilized in the cloud. So they equally provided with all the possible, you know, options or facilities. So here in this, the security of their data is very much important. So the server side encryption is done, possibly done in three different layers. How? So understand even server side encryption is also of three different types. What are those three different types? Let's understand. The first one is S3. Okay. So server side, under that S3 managed keys. S3 managed keys, that is we simply say in short SSE hyphen S3. Okay, so what do you mean by SSE? Let me take a notepad and then just write things onto that. So server side encryption, SSE hyphen S3 we say. So this is the first type of server-side encryption. In this, what do we do? So SSE is nothing but server-side encryption, and that server-side encryption, the first one is S3 in that. S3 means S3 managed keys. What do you mean by S3 managed keys? As I said, whenever we encrypt the data is provided with, okay, the data is provided with some keys after once the encryption is done. Okay, and those keys are needed to be maintained by people. So even that thing also taken care by Amazon itself. So at server side encryption, the simple one is S3 managed keys. Okay, the first layer is in the first layer, data is encrypted. Once the data is encrypted, it provides keys, multiple keys for all the data encrypted. Those keys are in the second layer, are again encrypted with a master key. Okay, hope you're getting things. So first encrypted by providing few keys differently. In the second layer, these keys are encrypted again with the master key, and in the third layer, this master key is placed in some S3 location, Amazon's S3 location, so that nobody knows where that master key is. And that's not constantly placed in one location, but that's rotated from one place to another place every time, so that even Amazon people, I mean like people who are working for Amazon, also do not get the access to that, and they will not be able to understand where that master key is placed and currently located. It's only we people who opted for the encryption at server side. When we wanted to decrypt, we have to raise a request with the people, so automatically the Amazon tool AWS will find it out where the key is, okay, the master key is, and that provide you the master key. That's the, I mean like the reverse process, first layer. And the second layer, providing that master key, we decrypt it so that it will provide all the different keys. And in the third layer, providing all these different keys, we decrypt the data so that we'll get the data back. This secure your data is with Amazon S3 once you encrypt it. But of course, they will charge you additionally for this encryption. And how is that done here? At server side, your data is uploaded and you wanted encryption to be done, then server side encryption, you select this and save. Since it is going to charge additional, I'm not going to do that, but you see AES 256, whenever you find AES 256, understand it is about encryption. What do you mean by AES? Advanced Encryption Service. AES stands for that. Advanced Encryption Service. 256 is the number given to that. So this is a mechanism to encrypt the data so that the data is encrypted. If you are going for certification, or if you are are going for any interview, just remember, whenever you find this word AES-256, it is about encryption. So that is first different type, server side encryption, S3 managed keys. And the second one is, okay, server side encryption, SSE. Then in this we have key management service. Okay, that is S3 managed keys and key management service, KMS, server side encryption key management service. This is a little advanced version of the first one, having some additional features. Since it is having some additional features and advanced version of the first one, it will also charge you additionally when compared to the first encryption, that is SSE S3, server side encryption S3 managed keys. Okay, apart from this we have another one, SSE, okay, customer provided keys. That's hyphen C we say. Customer provided keys. In this, what actually happens is the data is encrypted. Okay, the data is encrypted. Once after the data is encrypted, it will provide you the keys, the multiple keys. Now what Amazon does is all those multiple keys are provided to we people and say that guys, you please maintain your own keys, your data's, encryption keys with you only in your secure location. We do not take care of those keys. Okay, and when you manage your keys in your secure location, since you are taking part into it, it will charge you little less. But when you wanted to decrypt your data, what you have to do is the keys are to be provided to Amazon back so that it will decrypt on behalf of you and then give it to you back. So that we say customer provided keys. SSE with customer provided keys. The keys are provided to you and you have to maintain it. Is that clear? Are we clear with that? Yes? Is there anything, any doubt you wanted to clarify? The encryption, different type of encryptions? Fine, I hope everybody is clear with encryption, S3 encryption. So now, what do we do? We'll just try understanding the another thing, that thing. Okay. So with that, we are done with our S3 topic totally. And there's nothing to understand in S3 more than this. Now, so the next topic is CloudFront. So what's CloudFront? Okay, that's Global Content Delivery Network. The heading is storage and content delivery. So that means we are done with
Sir,
storage.
I'm getting your voice disturbance, sir.
What about now? Yeah, am I clear now? Mm,
Sir, we are getting your voice disturbance, sir.
one sec, I'll just try to do something. How about now? No? Is it fine now? Okay, fine. Done. So the next thing is, okay, the heading of this service is storage and content delivery. We are done with storage. Now let's go check with content delivery. That's nothing but CloudFront. Okay. So CloudFront is what? It's global content delivery network. Content delivery network. What do you mean by content delivery network? Okay, let's understand. Whatever the data we upload into S3 bucket, okay, the data uploaded into S3 bucket is accessed by people from various parts of the world. Now when this S3 bucket is created in one location, maybe for example in US region, the bucket is created in the US region for example, and somebody else is trying to access from Singapore or India or Australia region, okay, over internet, when people try to access, there will be some sort of latency. Obviously there will be some sort of latency because the bucket is created somewhere in US region. So for that US region people, it will be easy for them to access. They quickly get the things. But from the other parts of the world, obviously they'll have a little latency till the data is loaded into your local machine. You remember earlier when network was very slow, when the internet was not this faster, we always used to have some latency, like you click on something and then you have to wait till it gets loaded. It just takes some time, it just circle and all. Then in the end, part by part, slowly it loads. Usually now I'll just show you that. I'm like, before that, I just let me download something, some normal picture with um, some images, a picture. I'll just take. Mm, with a little higher. So let me just check the size of this. A little higher size picture I'll just take. Looks like this is little HD. Let me just check what is its size. Okay, it's around only KB, so it's not going to work for us. I will go do something more. I had some pictures but got deleted. Okay, this seems to be little heavy, so I will copy it and paste it on my desk. So let's try to do some practicals with this. Now I said content delivery network. So it's nothing but accessing data over internet, and as I said, it's like latency issues. The latency is nothing but let's upload the same file into it and then check what bit happens. What is that picture? We have just uploaded. Yeah, this. Okay, so now I'm just making it public here itself. Make everything public. Sorry for that disturbance from outside. So it's starting, it's taking some time to upload. So how is that possible to reduce the latency? So the latency can be reduced by creating a CloudFront distribution. So what CloudFront is actually? CloudFront is nothing but the content delivery network centers, we say. So there are multiple content delivery network centers we have across the globe, and those are either maintained by Amazon or are maintained by. I'm so sorry, guys. You please hold on for a second. Back, I'm sorry. So the delivery network centers are established across the globe by Amazon, and they are either maintained by Amazon or provided by third party. So these CDN centers, which are established across the globe, there are around 50 CDN centers around the globe, and in India we have two. One is in Chennai, and the other one is in either Pune or Mumbai. I'm not very sure, but it should be in Mumbai. So these are the two different delivery network centers are created. There we have to create a distribution. So we create the distributions in this cloud front. With respect to those distributions, we route all the access to that particular content or the files or the data in the S3 bucket stored via these CDN distributions. So what happens is, for the first time, it may take some time to access the data, but while it is accessing the data for the first time, it goes to the original path and get the data and then keeps the cache of that data in that CDN center. So next time when you access that data again and again and again, the cache will be accessed by you directly with less latency, because it's not directly going to the original location, but the nearby location where your delivery network, it's again breaking. They have not changed anything. Oh my god. Oh, I think my network is dropping. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it clear now? Now fine, okay, fine. I'm sorry for this, such a huge disturbance today. I'm not very sure why it's happening. I think I have a little network issue even with me. I'm just conducting this class over the mobile network due to network issues. So there may be a disturbance, I'm sorry. So what I'm trying to tell you is, we create some CloudFront content delivery network distributions. CloudFront distributions, and those CloudFront distributions are created in CDN centers. Okay, created. The distributions will keep some cache in CDN centers, content delivery network centers. With respect to that cache, every time you access the data, the request will not be sent to the original location, but the data is accessed by the local CDN center cache, so that you'll be able to access the data as fast as possible by you. It's updating, it's uploading, I'm sorry. So it's 2.56 MB. So it's taking some time. So this is what it's taking a lot of time to upload our data. When it is taking so much of time for uploading this little file, okay, this little file, imagine what happens to upload so much of a very huge file. So for that, what we have, of course, first thing, you need to have a proper network connection. Today my network is not that up to the mark. And what else is, when you go down, we have discussed something that faster, accelerator, transition accelerator, you remember? With respect to that, you can just upload things faster, as fast as possible, or download as faster. It will accelerate things. So in the end, transfer acceleration, this is what I'm talking about. But of course this will charge you a little higher, so make sure your network is proper. With that you can just safeguard things. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to load. Okay, so let's go discuss something about CloudFront. Now, as I said, the CDN centers are around 50 across the globe. Okay, 50 or 52 now currently, and people are planning few more in the future. May increase. This number may alter again. But in India, as I know, there are two CDN centers. One is in Chennai and the other one is in Mumbai, or might be in Pune. Now, when we create the distribution, in that distribution we notify, okay, which is the source bucket, okay, which is the source bucket when the data is accessed by people of that particular source bucket. It should be routed via this distribution. That's what we mentioned while we create. Not to worry, we will just practically see by creating the distribution, CloudFront distribution, and then understand everything very clearly, every single thing in that, how to create a distribution and how will it work. That's what we will see. Let me see whether my data is updated into it. Okay, it's still uploading. I think it's close to some 4 or 5 MBs. So let it. So in this distribution, there are so many things we need to understand. So, but for that, before that, let's try to understand a little terminology. So the terminology is nothing but what? First, the CloudFront distribution is nothing but it is the system of distributed servers over network that deliver web pages and other web content. Okay, any content you upload into the S3 bucket, all that content or the web pages you upload into your S3 bucket will be accessed by people across the globe over a certain network and to user based on the geometric location or geographic location. So based on that, the users will be able to access the data with less latency and okay, the origin of the web page and the content delivery service will be different. Now let's understand its terminology. The basic thing is, the basic motto is to reduce latency. So we have edge locations. This may be a very important point. What is the difference between your regions and edge locations in Amazon AWS? So when it comes to region, you say region is a geographic location, edge location is also a geographic location only. But region is the geographic location wherein Amazon has built its data centers in. So these are the different regions we have. The Amazon's data centers built in it. But when it comes to edge location is the location where your CDN or content delivery network is created. The location where content will be cached. So this is really separated different from AWS region or availability zone. There is no link or connection between region or availability zone to edge location. So simply remember, the question may come to you, what the difference between Amazon's region and edge location. So say that region is nothing but it's a data center where Amazon has built its, sorry, it's a location where Amazon has built its data centers. But edge location is the location where the content will be cached. The content will be cached is nothing but in terms of the S3 or any source data trying to access by people, that data's cache will be stored in a location which is known as CDN center, content delivery network center. So that is what edge location is. And next, origin. So what's origin? Origin is nothing but it is like no, this is just like the origin is nothing but the source from which your data should be accessed via this distribution. The source is nothing but that can be an S3 bucket, or that can be EC2 instance, that can be an elastic load balancer, or that can be route 53. Okay, we know what is EC2 instance. We know what is elastic load balancer. We also know what is S3 bucket. The only thing is route 53. Why do we use route 53? Can somebody tell me? Oh, it's breaking again. I'm so sorry, guys. So,
CN number.
yes, you said something?
Route 53 is used for CN number.
Route
Yeah, Route 53 is used for CN number.
C,
CN name, I think so. CN name.
C name. That's nothing but
It is for
name.
DNS, sir.
Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to hear from. It is DNS service, DNS. DNS is nothing but domain name. So with respect to this domain name, we will be able to access. The domain name is nothing but what? A short name provided, a user-friendly name provided to our default domain name when an a load balancer is created. You remember when we have created a load balancer, we were provided with a default alias record DNS name that wasn't user friendly. So of course we have tried with the same, but when you wanted to have a user friendly, then we went with CNN as a C name. That's nothing but canonical name. And how do you do that? That's by going into route 53. You need to have a registered domain name for that, and that domain name is associated with this, so that you'll be able to access. So anything it can be. The source can be anything, either route 53 domain name, okay, the registered domain name, or an ELB, or an EC2 instance, or an S3 bucket. So anything can be an origin or a source from which the data can be accessed. The next, distribution. So that's what we create here, the distribution. In that distribution we mention, okay, the edge location and then the origin. Let's see, we will see that how to do that. Now, the distribution is nothing but what? It is the name given to the CDN network, okay, content delivery network, which consists of a collection of edge locations. The distribution will have collection of edge locations, so that from which edge location, I mean, like in how many or where in how many edge locations the data cache can be stored, all that is mentioned. So for example, you have your website created or your S3 storage created in US region, as I always say, and people are trying to access not only from US region but also from the APAC region. People are trying to access only for that APAC people. You select these edge locations. Why do you need to select all the edge locations of entire globe? So select only the edge locations of APAC region, then you'll be able to go and run your show, right? So for that people and for your US people, the data will be accessed very easily. So that's what we mentioned, multiple edge locations in the distribution, and not only that, we can also have multiple origins to a distribution. So it's not only one single thing, you can also have multiple things associated or considered into this. So that's what the distribution is. And with CDN content delivery, like content delivery network is delivered with the best variable performance. So that's what CloudFront is optimized to work with, as we have just discussed. Amazon S3, Amazon EC2, Amazon ELB, and Amazon Route 53. It also works with any non-AWS origins. Non-AWS origins can also be considered because edge locations are either maintained by Amazon or can also maintained by the third party people. So servers which store original definitive versions of our files. So servers will be the things wherein our original data will be stored. For that, these edge locations will also have some servers built in. So in that server, because when we wanted to have cache stored, even in this case, okay, when cache needs to be stored, even in this case, we should have our data to store on a particular machine. We needed a machine for that. So a server is created even in that. That is the reason why Amazon is not cracking its brain whether those servers are either maintained by Amazon or some third party people. The only thing Amazon worried is the edge locations should work with the distributions and make sure the content is delivered with as less as low latency. So that is what the thing. And distribution type, there are two distribution types. Those are web distribution and RTMP distribution. What do you mean by web distribution? It's typically used for websites. Okay, when website is created and those website data is to be accessed by people, so that we use web distribution. And RTMP distribution is used for media live streaming. Somebody text something. You want me to repeat about distribution types? There are two different distributions we have. Oh, you want me to repeat the distribution types. So there are two distribution types. Prior to that, I said the cache will be stored on a server. That server is maintained by either Amazon or somebody else. The only thing Amazon worried is the data should be delivered to the people when they are trying to access with less latency. And for that, it wanted all the edge location servers to work with distribution properly and then get the data and store that cache of that data into their location, their edge locations, so that people can access it without any issue. Okay, one last thing I'll just discuss and then we'll stop our class for today since there is a lot of disturbance from my end, I guess, most probably. Okay. Yeah, that's what. One last thing I'll just discuss and we'll stop our class for today because of the network issue. If you are able to hear me, okay, I'm talking about the distribution types. Okay, I'm talking about distribution types. The distributions are of two different types. One is web distribution and the other one is RTMP distribution. Are you able to hear me? Yeah? Okay. So web distribution is for websites. When a website is created, okay, that may be on an EC2 server or you enable web hosting on your S3 bucket, anything is fine. So when data is accessed from a website, this web distribution is created so that you will be able to access the data. All the websites data will be cached into edge location and then provided to you with less latency. And the second thing is RTMP used for RTMP distribution, that is used for media live streaming. So media live streaming is nothing but if there is some video or something you wanted to telecast lively, that's live streaming. Maybe a cricket match, maybe a music show, anything it is. For that live streaming purpose, we go with RTMP distribution. Okay, we will see all that while we create the distributions, not to worry. So since there is a lot of disturbance today, and I think I have given enough information about what is CloudFront. Theoretically, we'll stop our class for today and hope tomorrow our network will be fine and it will not be there will not be any disturbance. So we'll just continue creating the distribution, and while we see how to create the distribution, we will see again everything what we have discussed theoretically. Not to worry. Okay, so I hope everybody is clear with server encryption part. Are you all? Are you all clear with encryption? If yes, the theoretical information about CloudFront, what we have discussed. If you are clear with this, then we will see. We will stop our class for today. Then tomorrow we will see things practically. We have seen theoretically today. One operation failed. Following files were not uploaded due to errors. Okay, then I'm going to stop the session there. I don't know why. Pranay, are you there? Pranay?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, so are we meeting tomorrow by 6:30 a.m. IST?
Yeah, sure.
Sure then. Okay, we'll meet little advance, guys. For the rest, the session will be at 7:30. Do not get confused. Because there are some backup classes going with Pranay. So you start your sessions at 7:30. You try logging into it by 7:30, and even if you log in prior to that, before well in advance, then just stay calm and then just go through. It will be like a recapitulation for you also. So fine, everybody. We'll meet tomorrow, and Pranay will meet little early. That's by 6:30 tomorrow. Yeah, I'll upload. I'll do that. Yeah. Somebody's talking.
That's yesterday videos.
Yeah, I'll do it. I could not do it yesterday because I had to rush to our office, so could not do it. But today I'll do yesterday's and today's together simultaneously. I'll do both together. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.